Ahead on this edition of SuTV News, input from faculty, workers, and parents shows a different side of the debate on the Child Care Center.
NDSU President Dean Brashani joins us in studio to discuss the most pressing issues on campus.
And in sports, a look back at this year's best of the best in Bison athletics.
Hello everyone, and thanks for joining us on SuTV News. I'm Brandon Clark.
And I'm Dave Vane. Joining us in studio this evening, we have NDSU President Dean Brashani. Welcome, President.
It's great to be here.
Well, first of all, what do you enjoy most and least about being president of NDSU?
Well, it's an around-the-clock job, and I love universities. I love university settings, and so in some senses, I get to love what I'm doing around the clock. On the other hand, some nights are pretty short on sleep and long on work hours, and it can wear you down.
Now, the state legislature was supposed to provide a bill providing money to limit tuition and provide extra money for underfunded universities like NDSU. What exactly happened to that bill in the state legislature?
Well, the bill went through, and overall, the funding of higher education was certainly reasonable. The problem is the calculus on how to distribute that money. And the calculus has, for about the last decade or so, really not worked well for a number of universities in the 11-campus system. For NDSU in particular, though, it has not been successful in providing adequate resources. And it's needed some adjustment. That hasn't taken place. And we saw a lot of bills in this last session to replace that system with a different way of supporting and financing the different institutions. None of those bills passed. But part of the legislative process and the end of the process was a demand that for the future session that the structure of how to distribute the money will be replaced. Unfortunately, that didn't help NDSU in this particular session, and so we're facing a bit of a challenge there.
What specific adjustments is NDSU looking for out of the state legislature?
Well, I think we would argue, and I don't want to leave this with the legislature, it's a combination of the legislature and the State Board of Higher Education and the Office of the Chancellor. But we really need the resources to follow the students. Right now, there's no relationship or very little relationship between where students attend and what they're majoring in and how the resources are distributed. So at an institution like NDSU, that's the largest in the state with a lot of science and engineering coursework, we get no special dispensation for that. And in fact, our students are funded at a rate that's less than half of what Valley City and Mayville State students are funded at, where they don't have science and engineering courses at the type and the level that NDSU does. That presents a heck of a challenge.
And you recently asked for an 8.8% tuition increase from the State Board of Higher Education. What can that do from NDSU that we did not get from the state legislature this year?
Well, the reality is the allocation that will come to NDSU without that 8.8% increase would mean another cut to NDSU. We can't afford to maintain what we're doing now with the resources that would otherwise come. In talking to student leaders, what I hear them consistently and unblinkingly say is, we don't want anything at NDSU cut. This is one of the top 100 research universities in the nation. That's why we're here. We value the experience we're having, and any cut or damage to that is of no interest to us. So that leaves us with the legislative session being closed and the State Board of Higher Education making the allocations they're making. The only way that we can make ends meet and basically maintain what we're doing is through a tuition increase. And our students are actually the ones that most strongly support that.
And by cuts, one of the big programs that has been kind of a debate on campus lately is the child care program, cutting the child care program. What specifically does NDSU want to do with that right now?
Well, I don't think we ever wanted to lose the child care program, but that's how desperate we are to find resources to maintain what we're doing. And it was a powerful illustrative point of something that has a critical value to the university community, and obviously the outpouring of support in response to the suggestion of closing it suggests you just how important that facility is. But we're to the point where we have few, if any, choices left. And what I said to the State Board of Higher Education members today was that we'll be looking at academic majors and academic programs, why students came here as our last resort, but we'll have no choice but to consider things like that if something doesn't change.
Alrighty. Well, stay tuned. Here on SuTV News, we'll be back with more from President Brashani.
Cutters. Uh-oh.
What are we gonna do now?
Give me the phone. Hello, Jimmy John's. Thank God you made it. I was so hungry, I thought I was gonna die.
Jimmy John's, America's favorite sandwich delivery guys.
Nice work, Johnson.
Sure, I like to go out and have fun with my friends.
But I want to have a good time and still look good in the morning. Before I pregame too much, I think about the name I'm going to make for myself.
Before I take the next drink, I ask myself, does this really mean yes?
So before I spend all of tomorrow covering up tonight,
Before I have to start setting court dates and paying fines,
I think about one more.
becoming one too many.
SuTV News is sponsored in part by Stop and Go. Stop and Go. We're always there.
Welcome back to SuTV News. We're joined here in studio with President Dean Brashani, President of NDSU. President Brashani, thanks for keeping with us here. Let's talk now about faculty. There are currently 80 slots that are vacant in faculty and staff. What, if anything, can be done to fill those positions?
Well, you speak right to my point and why I was visiting with the state board today about the tuition increase. Right now, we operate so tightly that as somebody retires, then we're able to hire someone, but we're not able to fill all those positions at the same time. That goes up to the level of department chairs. We have a number of departments around campus that have long-serving interim department chairs because we simply don't have the resources to hire permanent leadership for those departments. We've backed up and backed up and backed up financially to the point that our heels are kind of hanging off the cliff. And it's left us in a very awkward and precarious position that we just can't back up from anymore.
And now a couple of positions were recently filled. Obviously the chair of the communication department, and then the provost was recently filled as well, Bruce Rafford. What, if any involvement did you have in helping choose the new provost, and what did he bring to NDSU that helped him to stand apart from the other candidates?
Well, that's one of the most exciting things. I was intimately involved with hiring the provost. That is the chief academic officer of the university and the person who's going to bring together our research, instructional, and scholarly activities. Dr. Rayford, outside of being a world-class astrophysicist, is someone who has a lot of experience working in cutting-edge university settings where nonetheless there are inadequate resources. In fact, he's coming from Clemson University, which has been suffering 10 and 20% cuts annually for a number of years now. coming to an environment like ours where we're not taking cuts, but we're not getting adequately resourced, bringing the skill set and experience with that to our setting, I think is going to be a powerful combination of his academic skills and his administrative skills, and frankly, his ability to balance and creatively juggle financial challenges.
President Bashani, it's really exciting to have you here at SuTV News, watching our student-run broadcast. What's your impression of Ben?
Well, it's phenomenal. It's a phenomenal professional facility. I think there are a lot of smaller television stations around the state that would be envious of the facility, the equipment, and the expertise that you're able to put into your broadcast and program here.
So let's talk about commencement, because commencement is just right around the corner. How did you end up getting Robert Gates here as the speaker?
Well, I was very fortunate. Dr. Gates is who brought me to Texas A&M, where I was the vice president before NDSU, and even more fortunate, we both lived in homes on the Texas A&M campus, and our backyards butted up against each other. So aside from having a lot of interaction in a work setting, we got to know each other personally, and he really is a phenomenal person. What you see in the news, what you see on TV, what you see in magazines is the real deal. And his commitment and his patriotism, the sacrifices he's made to be in that job are inspirational. But you get him out of work setting, and he's just a regular guy. He's a lot like us. He'd fit in very well in North Dakota. His background, his ethics, what he thinks are important things in life would be very familiar.
So let's bring this all together here. What do you see, where do you see NDSU going here in the next decade? What can NDSU achieve from its growth it's already had?
Well, I would argue that there are few universities in the nation, and certainly no university in the state of North Dakota, that has more capacity to serve and contribute to the state's success and the nation's success than NDSU. We've moved into several measures of the top 100 research universities in the nation, and that's top 100 both private and public institutions, so that's an incredible accomplishment. And right now there's no other university in the state that's positioned to do that. What that means in an environment like North Dakota's economically versus the rest of the nation is that we can invest in higher education, and we can invest in the type of research and scholarly productivity that only research universities can provide. And NDSU is doing it. We're educating more students than we ever have, more students than any other university in the state. At the same time, we're creating more new knowledge, more new businesses, more new jobs than any other sector of the state economy. As a matter of fact, Moody's Investment, a nationally recognized investment analysis firm, has ranked NDSU as the #2 economic engine in the state of North Dakota. It's #2 to overall agriculture. In other words, one university campus is second only to the state's leading industry. That's a pretty impressive accomplishment, and it's one you're going to see happen more and more as our contributions grow.
So we can only go up from here, it sounds like.
Exactly.
Well, thank you for joining us here on behalf of SuTV News, President Bashani. And still ahead, we have new updates on the Child Care Center on campus. Stay tuned.
Cutters. Uh-oh.
What are we gonna do now?
Give me the phone. Hello, Jimmy John's. Thank God you made it. I was so hungry, I thought I was gonna die.
Jimmy John's, America's favorite sandwich delivery guys.
Nice work, Johnson.
Sure, I like to go out and have fun with my friends.
But I want to have a good time and still look good in the morning. Before I pregame too much, I think about the name I'm going to make for myself.
Before I take the next drink, I ask myself, does this really mean yes?
So before I spend all of tomorrow covering up tonight,
Before I have to start setting court dates and paying fines,
I think about one more.
becoming one too many.
Welcome back to SuTV News. As reported by SuTV News earlier this year, the Child Care Center on NDSU campus may be coming to a close. The Child Care Coordinating Committee recently held an open forum as part of finding alternative solutions for campus childcare. Early evidence gathered by the committee suggests that the current Child Care Center provides a very important academic, research, and outreach function. SuTV News has more.
Important to have that accessible for students.
The Child Care Coordinating Committee is designed to identify potential solutions for campus childcare, but not to make decisions.
Those alternatives might range from keeping things exactly as they are, if that's possible, to, I suppose, totally moving any childcare off campus. And we really haven't explored all the possibilities that are in between those two, what you might think of as extremes.
Faculty, staff, and parents alike are hoping for a resolution that will continue to support the existence of the Child Care Center.
I know my daughter had such a wonderful time and experience here of the learning and the growing and even the opportunities that they were given. I mean, they did community service work. I mean, it was just amazing.
Since 2006, the Child Care Center has been a resource for over 1,100 tri-college students and 700 high school students for research, field experience, and work study.
Students are able to get a broad array of experiences, from parent education to setting up environments for children to planning developmentally appropriate activities, and the teachers provide feedback to the students.
The Child Care Center accommodates NDSU community families exclusively and charges an average of $35 per day.
The university will continue to fund the Child Care Center until July of 2012. More informational gathering forums and interviews are planned for the committee, including a business study this summer. The committee will be finished with their work by December of this year, and a decision will be made soon after.
The Bison Information Network is using new additions to televise a timeless comic operetta. Der Fledermaus by Johann Strauss II is an expose of the 19th century Viennese society and features some of his most beloved waltzes and arias. Ben will be at the showing on May 6th at 7:30 p.m. to do a remote broadcast production, the first one in its history. The operetta will also be performed on May 8th at 2 p.m. For tickets and more information, visit www.ndsu.edu/finearts.
And pies were in the face of several communication faculty members. They were not there by accident, though. Lambda Pi Eta, along with the Public Relations Student Society of America and the NDSU Advertising Club, hosted their annual Lambda Pie Eating Contest. The contestants competed for the charity of their choosing, and this year's winner was the defending champion, Dr. Robert Littlefield. Dr. Littlefield ate half a pie in 3 minutes and 41 seconds. He beat out Dr. Zoltan Mojdik, who took second. Well, that was certainly a fun event to witness. It's not every day you see your most esteemed professors out there eating pie.
No, they took some of my favorite pies and made them look not very good. They really chowed those down pretty quick. That was impressive.
And they were frozen too, so it was a little tough on their teeth.
Yeah, that doesn't sound very fun at all. But hey, it's a good cause. A lot of fun. Good. Well, hey, coming up next in sports, we'll take a look at this year in Bison athletics. That's next. SuTV Sports, coming right back.
Jimmy John's, America's favorite sandwich. Delivery guys.
Imagine the impact of a place where exploration leads to answers that touch everyone. Where resources and resourcefulness, teamwork and tenacity combine to open new frontiers. Where dreams take the lead and show you tomorrow.
SuTV Sports is sponsored in part by Scheels. Ready for your next big adventure? Welcome to Scheels, the world's largest selection of sports, sportswear, and footwear. Welcome back. Former Bison standout Phil Hansen has been elected to the Buffalo Bills Wall of Fame. The defensive end was a second-round draft pick of the Bills in 1991. During his 11-year career, Hansen started 148 games, including 3 Super Bowls, and is third in team history with 61.5 sacks. He will be inducted during a Bills home game next season. Well, Bison Spring football included with the annual Green and Gold game on Saturday. With only a few months until the start of the season, fans had many of their questions turned to answers. A record crowd on this one, 3,051. Here, right away, Ryan Smith from his own 5-yard line. Check this out, 95 yards. He goes all the way to the house, and the Green down 14-10. To the third quarter, Esley Thornton drops back, finds Cooper Wallow Jr. Check this catch out, gets the feet down in bounds, and the Bison Green team wins 24-17. Bison head coach Craig Bowl released the latest depth chart following the spring game. Brock Jensen is listed as the starting quarterback with Esley Thornton second. Other position filled include Andrew Grothman at fullback, Tyler Gimstead at right guard, and Ryan Drevlo at nose guard. Well, after an impressive victory over the Minnesota Golden Gophers, the Bison baseball team took on an even bigger rival Wednesday night in the University of North Dakota. The Bison had won 4 of their last 5 games coming into the contest. And it was raining at Newman Outdoor Field, but we're playing in the rain. Pick it up here in the bottom of the third. The Bison with a big lead. Kurt Kenley hits a single to left-hander. Adam will score, and the Bison open up the 11-0 lead to the bottom of the 6th inning. Wes Satzinger, a deep fly ball to left field. That's going to go all the way back to the wall. Max Casper and Jay Hartman coming around to score. The Bison go up 15-3. They go on to the 19-5 win. Well, with several teams and athletes qualifying for their respective national tournaments, the 2010-2011 athletic year was definitely one to remember. Coming to a close, SuTV Sports takes a look back at this year's highlights.
Thanks, Ryan.
Yeah, well, quite the year, I guess, it's been in Bison athletics. I mean, so many teams from this small of a university making their respective national tournaments. It's just been a great year in athletics.
Thanks. Great. Stay tuned for more SuTV News.
College is a time to acquire the important skills which will prepare you for the future. In this day and age, technology skills are essential. And to help you develop such skills, ITS and Student Technology Fees bring you the Technology, Learning and Media Center. So, let's talk tech.
Located in IAC 150C, the TLMC is staffed by student learning assistants who offer help on a walk-in basis with technology-related coursework and projects. Students working in the lab can assist with using any of the 3 scanners, including a large format scanner, printing posters, along with capturing, editing, and converting video or audio. Specialized software is available, including Adobe, Microsoft, and various editing products. The lab also provides 2 expanded workspaces, 1 PC and 1 Mac platform. Directly across from the TLMC in IAC 150G is the TLMC Media Studio with equipment specialized for video and audio recording. To make a reservation for its use, simply contact the TLMC. If you like learning on your own, the TLMC carries a wide range of teach yourself books along with several learning links on the TLMC website. And for those who prefer to learn in a classroom setting, the TLMC offers free short classes in topics such as Adobe and Microsoft programs. These classes are taught by students for students and are usually scheduled late in the day to accommodate your schedule. For more information, visit us in IAC 150C or online at www.ndsu.edu/its/TLMC.
Welcome back. SuTV News would like to extend a warm gratitude of thanks to all of our sponsors this year. We thank Cable One for all of your support, as well as Jitters, Shields, Stop and Go, and Jimmy John's. Without the help, we would not be able to put together the program we have now.
Well, it's been quite a year, and we're really thankful for everything that we've had. And hopefully we can continue to go forward.
I've learned a lot this year. I mean, it's been a great learning experience, and without all this help, we wouldn't be able to do this every single week.
Exactly. Well, thanks for joining us on SuTV News this semester and this year. Be sure to check us out next fall. We leave you with shots of NDSU campus and all those who have lended a hand to help SuTV News. Thank you.